It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for the God that lives in us. I'm coming to you today with another video entitled The Coming Market Crash. The Fall of One, the Rise of Another. If you have not seen my previous video, I encourage you to watch it and watch it in its entirety. In that video, I shared a list of dreams and shared the timeline that God had given me as far as what's about to happen with XRP. We're looking for XRP to do extremely well in the coming days. Already we've seen, if you've watched that video since I put it out, already we've seen some of the things that XRP has been doing, the news that has been coming out. We've been looking at the charts and seeing some great price movement. And so I will be doing the same in this video. I'm going to be sharing with you some dreams and revelations and visions that God has given me as far as the coming market crash, what we can expect as far as news that has been put out about a particular coin, and how to prepare ourselves for this happening. For those who have not put in any buy orders or sell orders, now would be the time, excuse me, to do that, because I believe that this market crash is coming and it's upon us. I really do believe that it is upon us. But in spite of what we see going on in our economy, the news that we hear, we know that God is still in control. We can rest assured that God is good as far as his promises. And as we wait for this wealth transfer, we'll wait with faith in our heart. We'll wait with patience, and we'll wait with trust, knowing that God is going to do exactly what he has promised. Before we get into the video, nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I am simply sharing what I believe God has given me to share with you and with the wealth transfer community. So let's get into the video. So all these dreams that I'm about to share, the confirmations and interpretations, all of this fell between the times of August 17th, 2023 and May 23rd, 2024. I will say that it took me, it wasn't until 2024 that I began to get the full understanding and better interpretations of what these dreams were. And you'll see a list of those dreams and confirmations that we're going to be talking about, all of the connections and the common denominator between this video and my last video. So watch to the end and we'll get into the very first dream. So this first dream is about a market crash and a test tube. So the dream began with me seeing a large red candle falling, and the red candle had an arrow at the bottom of it, and it was falling extremely fast. It was falling so fast that I saw sparks shooting from the tip of the arrow. It was rocking from side to side as if it was about to derail. And then I saw some green candles here and there, but mostly it was red candles. This was falling extremely fast. And as it was falling and rising a little bit, but falling, I saw some numbers. And those numbers were, two of the numbers looked like coordinates. It was 0,0 and 6,0. And then as the arrow or the candle, excuse me, continued to fall, I saw it land inside of a test tube and it stopped. And what stopped it was this jelly-like substance within the test tube. And inside that jelly substance were two sperms. And as the candle came to a stop inside of this test tube, I saw another number, and that number was 177. And so that was the end of that first part of the dream. The candle, red candle falling extremely fast, finally coming to a stop inside of a test tube where there was a jelly-like substance and two sperms. And then those three numbers, two of them looked like coordinates. One was a single, just a single number, 177. And so the second part of this dream, I saw two pregnancy tests on one side. And then on the other side, I saw a cap. The pregnancy tests, the two of them, they looked the same. The only differences were the color. One had a blue marking on it and the other had a yellow marking on it. They both had the number 40. So the yellow pregnancy test had the number 40 on it, and the blue pregnancy test had the number 40 on it. And I remember seeing the pregnancy test insert one inside the other. And when they inserted one inside the other, then the two of them were inserted inside of that large cap. And so I was able to still see the blue marking and the yellow marking and the number 40. And that was the end of that dream. So I knew from what I saw, this had to do with the market crash. That was a given. So my interpretation began with, okay, this is a market crash. And then it moved on to, okay, I saw 2 sperms and I saw 2 pregnancy tests, something about twins and conception. And so I was trying to figure out, God, what are you saying about a market crash and something to do with conception and twins? As far as the numbers, I was not able to, I did not understand what God meant as far as the numbers. So I wrote everything down, and every now and again I would come back to this dream to kind of see if, with fresh eyes, to see if there was anything else that I missed. But for the most part, the only thing I received from this dream is there's going to be a market crash, and it's going to be extremely a bad market crash. It's going to fall extremely fast, and something was conceived within this dream, and it was twins. And that was it. So in this second dream, it was also a market crash dream, and it involved a ball pit. And so in this dream, I saw a picture of red candles. I understood that to mean that this was a market crash. I looked down and I was sitting in a ball pit with yellow and red balls. Each ball had the date of October 17th on it. There were hundreds of balls. They were all red and yellow with the date of October 17th. And that was the end of the first part of that dream. The second part of that dream was basically me telling someone about this dream. And I was letting them know that, hey, I just saw a picture of a market crash, and I was in this ball pit with only yellow and red balls, and I was able to see a date on each ball, and that date was October 17th. And that was the end of the dream. And so my interpretation was, okay, this is something to do with a market crash. I've already had a dream about a market crash, and now I'm having another dream about a market crash. And so my interpretation is something's coming. I was not sure about the October 17th date. Why did God give me that date in a dream? This was my first time receiving a date in a dream. So I made sure I made a note of that. And basically, I was looking forward to the market crashing on October 17th. October 17th rolled around and there was no market crash. But what did happen was there was a strike on the hospital in Gaza, and that was big news. And so I asked God, is this why you gave me the date of October 17th? Was it because of the Gaza strike on the hospital? And so as I began to think over it, I said, but if so, what does that have to do with a market crash? What does that have to do with yellow and red balls? If anything, that reminded me of Shiba Inu. And so I'm just wondering, how do these two things connect? At this point, I still did not know what the numbers meant from my first market dream. The coordinates that I saw, the numbers, I did not understand any of the numbers. And it wasn't until the next year, 2024, in April, around between the 1st and the 8th, that God gave me the interpretation of that very first dream, what those numbers meant. He told me that they were not coordinates, that these were dates. And because this dream was about twins, we're looking at numbers that are pairs. So at this point, every number that was a pair will represent days and weeks. So 00 represented the starting point. This is the day that this timeline would start. So starting from August 17th, 40 days would give me a date of September 26th. 60 days would give me a date of October 16th. 40 weeks would give me a date of May 23rd, 2024. So now we're moving into the next year. And so I decided to look back and to see how this would fit in with the rest of the dreams that God gave me, the previous dreams that God gave me. And so I came to know that 40 days from the time I had my first dream, 40 days would end on September 26th. On September 27th, I had my second dream. In that dream, I was given the date of October 17th. 60 days ended on October 16th. And then the date of October 17th, the date given in the dream. So it looked to me as if God was giving me dates. And he was giving me dates that picked up where one date ended, a new date will start. God always had a date ready at the end of another. And so, excuse me. And so after dream one, the 40 days started, the 40 days ended, September 26th. September 27th, I had dream two. When the 60 days ended, it was October 16th. On October 17th, the date given from dream two, I began to see a pattern. And I said, okay, God, I think that this is where I need to insert the 177. The 177 was the only number that was not a pair. And so I felt led to do that. And so now I have two more new dates. 177 days. The end of that will be April the 11th, 2024. And then the end of the 40 weeks would be May 23rd, 2024. And so I was, praying that my interpretations of this was correct. If so, then we would definitely see something come about on April the 11th and May the 23rd. And so I was super excited to see, kind of nervous because this is an area as far as dates. When it comes down to prophetic words and giving dates, many people kind of run away from that, especially if you're wrong about it. You don't really hear the end of it. And so I was praying to see, God, is this your interpretation? Is this what you're telling me? Are these patterns that I'm seeing with these numbers and dates, is this correct? And so I had to wait. So now it's April 10th. And I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I'm talking to the Lord, and I'm saying, God, I hope and pray that my interpretations are correct. If so, then something should transpire on tomorrow. And I go to bed, and I have this dream. And this dream I call the tether swing dream. And I saw my brother-in-law. He was standing looking for his tether swing. And he was saying, I can't find it. Where's my tether swing? Where's my tether swing? It was just here. It was just here, my swing. And so my dad was helping him to look for the swing. And they were looking around, and I could see both of them standing in this small little grassy area. And my dad told me, I don't see a swing. And so the scene changed. And I saw my dad pulling something up out of the ground. He was yanking and he was pulling with all of his might. And I saw leaves and roots and dead grass. And he pulled up out of the ground this beat up, broken, bent-legged swing. And I looked at it and, I'm like, oh, it definitely is a swing. And the swing was definitely unstable. My dad moved his hands off of it for a second, and the swing began to fall over. It was unstable. And so that was the end of that dream. When I woke up, it was 11:53, and it was not April the 11th. It was still April the 10th. So I was confused as to why the Lord allowed me to have this dream on April the 10th. And so I began to ask God, well, why was my brother-in-law? Why was Patrick? Why was he in this dream? And God led me to look for his birthday. When is his birthday? His birthday is on April 18th. And so now I'm asking God, is this a new date? Is this a new date? Will the market crash happen tomorrow on the 11th? Or are you telling me it's going to happen on the 18th? Being that Patrick's birthday is on the 18th. And in this dream, this tether swing belonged to him. So I made a note of it, April the 18th. And I also made the connection, the biggest connection, that this dream is about Tether coin. Something is going to happen to Tether, this stablecoin. It's going to become unstable and it's going to fall. It's going to be here one day or one moment, and then the next moment it's not going to be here. So now I am concluding that the market crash that I saw in the first and second dream of last year, that market crash is going to be because of Tether. Tether will be the reason for the market crash. And so I marked my calendar for April the 18th, and I waited. Well, that night, after I wrote that dream down, I finally went to sleep. It was definitely April the 11th. And when I fell asleep, I had a dream. And in this dream, I was telling someone about this Tether dream. And I went on to say, my brother-in-law Patrick was in the dream and he was looking for his swing, and they found the swing and it was broken and it was mangled. And I gave them my interpretation in that dream, what I thought it was, Tether coin, and all of that. So after I woke up, I wrote this dream down as an April the 11th dream. So on April the 11th, there was no market crash. I just received another dream, and this dream is about Tether. Something's going to happen to Tether, and it's going to cause a market crash. At this point, I have 2 dates. I have April 18th to look forward to, and I also have May 23rd, both in the year 2024, this year. And so I spoke with the Lord again, and I said, okay, God, I realized that I received a dream on April 10th and April the 11th, and I'm still waiting on this market crash. I don't know much about this Tether coin and it's falling, how it's going to happen. But I do feel that it will be, the fall of this coin will be the result of a market crash. And so I waited. And on April the 17th, my husband and I were traveling, going somewhere, and we were listening to the news. And on the news, this news anchor was talking about covering the news on hurricanes, the wild weather patterns that we've been having. And they were doing coverage. And he was pointing out the various things that had been destroyed, and the church had been destroyed, and the houses that had been destroyed, and the cars flipped. And one of the things they pointed out and actually showed was a mangled swing set. And he went on to say how this swing set, has seen better days, and it was simply just destroyed. And when I saw that swing set, I literally thought about my Tether swing dream. For me, this was confirmation that the dream that God showed me about this mangled swing was indeed something about Tether. Later that day, on April 17th, news came out about a bill that had dropped about stablecoins. And as this bill was put out, different ones were talking about how that Tether was one of the stablecoins that was non-compliant to this bill. And so from that, 2 confirmations in one day that something is going on with Tether. God is showing me that Tether is going to cause a market crash. Well, the next day, which was April the 18th, I'll go ahead and say it, the market did not crash. However, Brad Garlinghouse was interviewed, and in that interview, he was talking about his new stablecoin coming out for XRP, Ripple. And he was also commenting on the bill that had been put out the day before, the bill about stablecoins and being compliant and all of that. And he mentioned Tether's name. And basically, Tether did not fall in the category of being compliant, and therefore this bill is not good for Tether. So that's 3 confirmations of Tether. The dream that God gave me that something is about to happen to Tether. Be prepared. This market crash is coming because of Tether. So I'm documenting all these things. And on the 18th, also, there was Israel did a strike on Iran, a retaliation strike. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, God, you gave me October 17th on the balls in a dream last year. And something dealing with war happened. You had the strike on the Gaza hospital. Then from the Tether dream, you gave me the date of April 18th. And on this day, we have Israel doing a strike, retaliating on Iran. Why is it that the dates that I'm receiving in these dreams are landing during times that there's issues going on and there are major attacks going on? I wasn't sure. I will say now that I am still not sure why these major war events happen on the 2 days that God gave me as far as dates in dreams. I am not sure. I know that there's more to it, and once the Lord reveals that to me, I will also share that. Another thing that I also need to make mention of is that my brother-in-law's name is Patrick, and the guy who introduced the stablecoin bill, his name is also Patrick McHenry. And so that was another form of confirmation that came to me on April the 17th. In this part of the video, I'm going to be sharing more confirmation, and this confirmation is going to be coming from the dreams of others. I believe that God can and will use whoever he desires to get his message to us. Sometimes it looks like receiving confirmation through others' dreams, visions, revelations, and rhema words. Sometimes it is specific to that and that alone and nothing more. What I will say is let us continue to pray for the wealth transfer community. We know that the enemy loves to stir the pot, but we do not have to eat from it. And so as we move on to the next slide, you may recognize this YouTuber. And in this video that she put out in 2024, it reminded me of my dream, my very first market crash dream with the test tube, the sperm, and the pregnancy test. And in this dream, she goes on to talk about twins. God gave her a dream about twins. One of the twins would not make it. She identified these two twins as being Tether and Bitcoin. She said that Tether would die and Bitcoin would fall from its #1 spot and another coin would take its place. When I heard this dream during this time and when I saw her video, I had made no connection at all with my market crash dream and the test tube, and I made no connection whatsoever. Again, it wasn't until the 18th, whenever I started making all these connections with dates and God gave me the April 18th, I began to look back. And for whatever reason, like I mentioned before, God has his ways of blinding our eyes to things, even when it's obvious, because I believe it's because he wants to build our faith, those that he's using in this way to bring these prophetic words. And so I made no connection at all. Here it is the next year, April the 18th, and I am just now realizing that I've heard this before. And I go back to her video, and you would have to watch her video in its entirety to really get the gist of what she's saying. But for me, the portion that stood out to me was the fact that she's talking about twins. She's talking about Tether will die, which lines up with my Tether swing dream about Tether falling and being mangled and here 1 minute and gone the next. And so this was confirmation for me. And so April 18th has come and gone, and now I am waiting for May 23rd. I have concluded that all of these dreams have to do with the market crash leading up to my understanding about Tether. Tether will be the catalyst for this market crash, is what I'm interpreting this as. And now the only thing left to do is wait for May 23rd, 2024. And again, my question is, will the market crash on May 23rd, 2024? So before moving forward with the next dream, I do want to say that on April the 11th, I had a dream about a yellow and red key. I'm going to share the details about that dream later on in this video. And so now we can move forward to the next dream. I don't know if you guys have seen or if you're subscribed to Now Daily Bread with Sister Sharon. If you have not, I encourage you to. She is extremely knowledgeable of the Word of God. She enjoys sharing it. And I'm very thankful for Sister Sharon because she not only talks about the natural side of the wealth transfer, but the spiritual side as well. And so if you have not, I encourage you to check out Sister Sharon's Now Daily Bread. And so the next dream was about her. In this dream, Sharon and I were in the same room, and she was asking me the question, are you sure? Are you sure? And she was looking at me. She was extremely serious. She was making eye contact, and I understood to say yes. And so I told her yes. It happened. Are you sure? Yes. And so she was pointing at the television, pointing at the TV, saying, are you sure? Are you sure this happened? The trash truck came and the moon was out. And I again told her yes. And so she said, are you sure? It happened 2 hours ago. Are you sure? And so because she was continuing to ask me if I was sure, I began to say to myself, am I sure? Like, she keep asking me. And so that's pretty much the entire dream. Sister Sharon asking me if I was sure that the trash truck came the same time the moon was out, and if I was sure it happened 2 hours ago. And so I woke up from this dream and I immediately thought Lunic. I thought Lunic because of the whole thing with the moon. And for me, my trash is picked up on Sunday nights between 10 and 12. And so she mentioned about 2 hours ago, if that was the case, then for me, it would be 12 o'clock Monday morning. And so I figured that this dream must have something to do with Lunic, and it would happen. I have hopes that it would happen that upcoming Sunday. Something would happen to Lunic between 10 and 12, the time that my trash is picked up, on into Monday. And so I made a note of that dream and continued to look forward to May 23rd to see if Tether will indeed crash the market. So I took the time to email Sister Sharon this dream to just share it with her. I can't remember exactly how long it had been before I decided to send her that email. But I did share that email with you, and I will give you the details of that as we get into what happened on May 23rd. So May 23rd rolled around and there was no market crash. However, as you can see here on the screen, that these are the events that took place on May 23rd. We had the Ethereum ETF approval, which I had no idea that it was going to be approved. I think I found out about the Ethereum ETF. I found out about it. I think it was Tuesday the 21st. Someone was covering it on a YouTube news. They were talking about it. But prior to this, I had no idea that Ethereum was going to be, the ETF was going to be approved on this date. I don't have any Ethereum, and I guess that's why I don't really follow it that much. However, Sister Sharon did a video on that day, and it was entitled, Be Ready at the Weekend. Be Ready at the Weekend. And also that night on May 23rd, there was a flower moon event. And so we will move forward to see how all this ties in. I am not going to be playing Sister Sharon's video from that day, but I will be talking about the dream she shared. And in her video, really quickly, her dream, she saw a burnt orange moon and the Shib and XRP dog standing next to it. Now, this video came with a lot of information, lots of very useful information, but long story short, she was saying that she felt like something was going to happen on the weekend, on that Sunday specifically. And at this point in time, I didn't know if she had received my emails or not. I, for whatever reason, hadn't seen the email from her, but she mentioned my dream about her in this video. So obviously she received my emails. And so I went back and I looked, and I don't know how I missed it. I believe it was just God's timing. Again, God blinding my eyes and from seeing it. But she had emailed me several times asking questions about this particular trash truck and moon dream. And thankfully, the question that she was asking was there in the screenshot of the dream that I sent her. And so for her, my dream was confirmation. But for me, that was confirming that this dream wasn't about Lunic. This dream was about Shib and XRP. And I didn't have all the components of my dream, but we see and prophesy in parts. And so I saw the part about a particular day. She saw the rest of the dream as it related to a burnt orange moon and the Shib and XRP dog. So now my mind goes back to April the 11th about the red and yellow key dream. I haven't shared that yet. And it also goes back to the yellow and red balls from the dream in 2023. So now I'm seeing Shib in the mix of all of this. I know Tether. I understand Tether. I understand the connection with the market crash. And now we're talking about Shib. Okay. So as I begin to go back and I begin to look at this flower moon and just imagining the Shib and XRP dog standing next to it, it reminded me of the coin itself. The the burnt orange moon is the actual background of the coin, and then place the dog on it, on the moon, and it looks just like the Shiba Inu dog. And so I began to interpret her dream in that manner, that she's talking about the Shiba Inu coin. And now we'll go to the red and yellow key dream. So in this dream, there was a lot of running going on, and I was trying to find my keys to my car to get away from this place where I was. And the bad guys in this dream were scattered out throughout this building. One of them found me, and they put me into this room that had another small room within it, and he locked me inside. Well, once he got back, he and I got into a struggle. As we were struggling, and I'm winning, he's reaching for a key. And so I'm trying to prevent him from getting to this key. I finally defeat him, and I grab the key. When I grab the key, I look at it, and it looks like the red and yellow key that I've drawn in the picture here. It was flat, and you put it flat against the surface, and you turn it like you would normally turn a key. And I was able to unlock the door from the inside and get away. So I woke up from this dream, and I'm saying, okay, God, I see yellow and red again, just like the balls in the ball pit dream. And I thought Shiba Inu back then, and now I'm still thinking the same thing now. And this key, just, God has his ways of making my eyes focus on something. And that was one of those moments where it's like, I've never seen a key like this before. And if you look at this puzzle, the key itself in the dream was just like this puzzle piece. If you imagine this key is inside of this puzzle, well, the puzzle piece and the key was all one entire key. And you lay it flat or put it flat against the surface, and you turn. And so I woke up from this dream, and I began to just look into these colors. And when I did, I saw the Shiba Inu in all of this, of course. And I saw MasterCard. And then once I saw Sharon's video on the 23rd, I can now add this flower moon to the equation, because as it's transitioning, I also see that red and yellow. And so, God, what are you doing? You're obviously clearly showing me Shiba Inu and its dealings with whatever this is happening, whatever's going to happen with Tether, something with Shib. And so moving forward, I'm going to be sharing some more confirming dreams from others. On the screen, you will see the date on this particular video was March 14th. She put this video out on March 14th. She was connecting the number 35 with Shiba Inu, and therefore they're the colors. And those colors reminded me of the yellow and red balls and the yellow and red key. Also, her date. The date of this video, 35 days from the day she put out this video, would be April 18th. There it is again, April 18th. And so that date connects with Tether, because from the Tether dream, I received the date of April 18th. On April 18th, that was when Brad Garlinghouse came out about the stablecoin for XRP. On the 18th, that's the 17th, the day before the 18th, news came out about the bill that was going to affect Tether in a negative way. And now this YouTuber puts out a video, 35 days from this date of her video would be April 18th. And now we're back to Tether again. So I'm seeing Shib connecting with Tether, and all of the confirming things as far as XRP goes. So now I'm starting to just gather all these things together. Okay, Shib, okay, Tether, market crash. Somehow XRP is involved in this. And so I continue to move on. In her next set of videos, you see the titles there. She's talking about Japan and the US. She's talking about XRP, and she's talking about Shiba Inu. Now we see XRP here. We see Shib. As far as the numbers, we see 35 again. 35 represents Shiba Inu. She explained these numbers and how the meaning behind them. But as far as I can remember, 35 represented Shib, and then flipping that, 53 represented XRP. And so looking at this Japan flag, it looks like the flower moon. The night of May 23rd, the flower moon event happened. It happened at 9:53. 53. She said 53 represented XRP. So now I'm seeing Shib, I'm seeing XRP, I'm seeing Shiba Inu, and I'm just like, God, what is this coming to? This has to come to a head at some point. And so I'm making all of these connections, and I had to start with Shib. Okay, Ethereum. Ethereum on May 23rd was approved. Only thing I know about Shiba Inu is that it's on Ethereum's network. Sister Sharon's dream about the moon and the sheepdog, to me, pointed straight to Shiba Inu. The flower dream, not dream, but the flower moon that took place on May 23rd, the transitioning of that made me think about yellow and red, which point me in the direction of Shib. So I feel like in this portion of the timeline, God is revealing Shib more. He's revealed Tether a whole lot. He's confirmed Tether a whole lot. And now we're seeing XRP in the mix as well. The last thing I would like to do is to show the common denominator between Dream Set 1, which is all about the market crash, all roads lead to Tether, and Dream Set 2 in my previous videos where all roads led to XRP. The common denominator between both of these sets that I could see is Tether. We've already talked about Tether and how the market crash and the dates that God gave me in the dreams led to Tether. The confirmation of that dream came with the bill being put out about stablecoins, and also Brad Garlinghouse talking about the new stablecoin for XRP, and also talking about the bill that had come out and just saying that Tether is not non-compliant. In Dream Set 2, you have to go back and watch that video again in its entirety to really make that connection. But the Tether dream is important in Dream Set 2 because there was a news article that came out on June 12th, which was the same day that news came out on June 12th that XRP had dropped the name of the stablecoin, of their stablecoin. And so on June 12th, the news about Tether came out from the EU saying that Tether will be banned on July 1st of this year. So that's important because you have Tether going away. It's here 1 minute and it's gone the next. Just like in the dream when my brother-in-law said that his swing was just here, and then the next second it was gone. So I feel like God is incorporating, he's been showing me since August 17th, 2023, all the way through June 12th of this year. He's been, giving me a path that leads to Tether and giving me a path that leads to XRP. And so these are the common denominators. At the end of the day, I see Shiba Inu being a part of this. And with that being said, I will let you know that I am marking July 1st as a date for the market crash because of Tether. I will say, if you remember the trash and the moon dream, my trash pickup is in between 10 and 12. Well, we know that there's a time difference between Europe and the US. Based on what I saw, there's a 6-hour difference. So when Tether is being banned on the 1st of January, or excuse me, the 1st of July, it will be Sunday still for us in the US, if that makes sense. So when Tether is being banned, when it goes away, let's just say 12 o'clock, I'm not 12 o'clock, but when it's between 10 and 12 o'clock our time, on Sunday, it's going to be the 1st in Europe, and Tether will be banned. So for me, that fits that dream to a T because of the time difference between the US and Europe. So I am marking my calendar to see a market crash on the 1st of July, June 30th for us in the US on a Sunday. So please keep those dates in mind, and please like and subscribe to this video. Please share it. You know, we want to get this word out to as many people as possible, to put them in the know as they choose to prepare in their very own way for this coming market crash. I know for me, I have buy limit orders for Ethereum and for a lot of other coins, XRP, XLM, a lot of those X coins. And I talk about those X coins and XRP to a great extent in my last video. And so thanks for watching. Be encouraged. Don't forget to check out Sister Sharon's channel, Now Daily Bread. And I will see you all in the next video. God bless.